Getting one of our first looks at how San Diego Unified is transforming its classrooms to safely welcome back students and teachers. A former San Diego sheriff's captain who pleaded guilty to running a gun trafficking ring, learning just how long he'll spend behind bars. The president directing states to fully open vaccine eligibility soon. What local leaders say the biggest hurdle is here in San Diego. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Thank you for joining us on this Friday. I'm Virginia Cha. It is exactly 1 month before San Diego Unified Schools are scheduled to welcome students back to the classroom. This morning, district leaders and the media toured the newly rebuilt Hoover High School to see how the new COVID safety protocols will be implemented in the schools. ABC 10 News reporter Natay Holmes shows us what parents and students can expect when those schools reopen.
San Diego Unified students will be coming back to the classroom on April 12th, and after a brand new renovation, Hoover High students will be coming back to a brand new school. But the district has been working hard to make changes at all of the campuses, and there will be very clear safety protocols in place for students and staff when they arrive.
People have to be aware that we need to continue to do some things that may not be comfortable for everybody, keeping the masks on, keeping the separation, but it's the way that we keep everybody safe. And one thing that we have wanted to avoid this entire time here in our district is we don't want to bring kids back and then close down again.
Students and staff will have to wear masks and maintain social distancing, and there will also be bi-weekly testing of everyone on campus. All classroom ventilation systems have been updated with monitored air quality. We're told plexiglass will only be added to classrooms that will safely allow it. In some instances, the large frames can block the flow of ventilation. Staff will also be in charge of regular cleaning of the classrooms. The San Diego Unified School District is giving families the option of in-person or virtual learning. Educators want to remind parents that today is the last day for parents to fill out their family preference survey. This will give schools an idea of just how many students are expecting to come back on campus. The schedules of classes and the way the campuses are organized will be left to the principals and educators at the schools. We're told this is the first week that all educators in the district had access to get their first vaccine. Staff will be fully vaccinated by the time schools reopen. All teachers and staff will return to campus a week prior to the reopening so they can be trained on the new safety protocols. Also, if you have not filled out your family preference survey, you can find it online. There will also be a link on our 10 News website. Natay Holmes, ABC 10 News.
Moments ago, a former San Diego sheriff's captain learning his sentence for running an illegal gun trafficking ring. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner is live outside the courthouse where Marco Garmo's sentence was announced. Jen, the judge really laid into Garmo.
Virginia, that's absolutely right. Marco Garmo was sentenced right now to 2 years behind bars, 3 years of supervised release. And like you said, the judge had a lot to say to him. One thing that I found really interesting, he said, it was almost like you were acting like a mob boss. You may remember this story. It was very big. We've got video of him from last year, from his last hearing. It was in September when that former San Diego County sheriff's captain pleaded guilty here in federal court to illegally trafficking firearms. The case stems from bombshell allegations 2 years ago that 5 defendants, including Garmo, prominent jeweler Leo Hamill, and former sheriff's lieutenant Fred Magana, were involved in a massive gun running operation. Hamill and Magana were charged with working with Garmo to resell guns and falsify records. Now, according to prosecutors, Garmo used his position to buy and resell guns that are intended only for law enforcement, not the general public, so-called off-roster guns. And over 6 years, investigators say he sold more than 100 firearms for cash or to collect favor from those who might support him in a future run for San Diego sheriff. Now, today, Garmo was also ordered to pay $8,300 in fines. Reporting live from downtown, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Jen. This just in, the city of Minneapolis has agreed to pay $27 million to settle a civil lawsuit filed by George Floyd's family over his death while in police custody. Now, this is coming as jury selection continues in former Officer Derek Chauvin's murder trial. Minutes ago, the Minneapolis City Council announced the settlement, which includes $500,000 for the neighborhood where Floyd was arrested. Floyd's family filed that federal civil rights lawsuit against the city. Chauvin and the 3 other officers fired over charges that are connected to Floyd's death as well. The suit alleges the officers violated Floyd's rights when they restrained him, and that the city allowed a culture of excessive force, racism, and impunity to flourish within the police force. Well, this morning, Chula Vista police are still searching for the person who shot and killed a teenager last night. Happened around 7:30 at Sunset View Park, the same area where a 15-year-old was injured in a shooting on Saturday. The victim in last night's shooting is a 17-year-old boy. Police are trying to figure out what led up to this shooting, but they don't believe those 2 incidents are related.
I'd like to assure the community that this is a very safe area. Obviously, the East Lake community is probably very surprised to hear this information because, quite frankly, this stuff doesn't happen out there.
Police are asking the community for help in tracking down the shooter. If you have any information, you're asked to please call Chula Vista Police. Overnight, President Biden calling on states to open up vaccine eligibility to everyone by May 1st. Here in San Diego and California, we're in phase 1B of the vaccine rollout. That means teachers, law enforcement, people 65 and older are among those currently eligible. Local leaders say they can meet the demand that comes with fully opening things up by May 1st as long as the supply can keep up.
We've administered more shots per person than any county in California. We are ready to do more. We could do 2-3 times more each day than what we're doing. So it tells me the supply is going to significantly ramp up, and I think that's great news.
We have seen supply shortages shut down some local vaccine sites. So County Board of Supervisors Nathan Fletcher, they're saying that the biggest hurdle for our county going forward is that supply. So far, about 25% of San Diegans have received at least 1 dose. All this is coming as we wait to hear more from Governor Newsom, who says the state's reopening tier system could see a shakeup starting today. The governor said earlier this week that once the state hit its goal of administering 2 million vaccine doses to vulnerable communities as part of the targeted program, reopening requirements would be loosened. That would make it easier for San Diego, for example, to move from the restrictive purple tier to the less restrictive red tier, which would allow more things to reopen. Well, it is finally game day. Today, many high school football players will return to the field for the first time since the pandemic started. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell spoke to a family about what this day means to them.
After a battle in court and lots of added COVID-19 precautions, high school football players will return to the gridiron for their first game since the pandemic shut everything down.
I'm super excited. I mean, I couldn't be more prepared and excited to just go back out there. It's been over a year now.
That's Scripps Ranch High School quarterback Luke Durkin and his mom Melanie. They thought this day would never come, the moment Luke would finally put his jersey back on and play in his first football game of his senior year. Getting to this point hasn't been easy as they dealt with school closures and COVID-19 restrictions, including rigid testing and a reduced schedule.
Once we got the green light, like it just, my whole focus just focused on this season and this game in particular. So yeah, I feel ready.
But part of those restrictions includes the school district's decision not to allow spectators, which Melanie says is now forcing families to find other ways to catch a glimpse of the game.
I haven't figured out if I'm going to stand at the fence shoulder to shoulder with so many families, which would be much less socially distanced and less safe, or if I'm going to try to watch the live stream that we're trying to get working right now.
Though that part is still up in the air, the Durkin family says today the focus is simple. High school football is finally back.
We haven't dropped that fight, but right now, today, it's game day. We're focusing on that, and we'll pick up that fight, I guess, tomorrow and try to get us in the stands for next Friday.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
And this morning, we're already seeing the impact of safety precautions that are required to bring youth sports back. Tonight's game between Mission Hills and Grossmont now canceled, called off due to a positive coronavirus test. We are looking into that. We're going to bring you updates as we get some more details.